Welcome back to Gamebook Collector. Apologies, this episode's a long time coming. In this episode, we're running down the top 9 Fighting Fantasy Gamebook cover art from Gamebooks number 51 to 59. It's Gamebook Collector here, and finally, we're now running down the top 9 gamebooks from number 51 to 59. Previously, we've done gamebooks 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, and 41 to 50. We're now in the prestige section of these Fighting Fantasy gamebooks. So this is the prestige section, this is the golden section of gamebooks due to the limited numbers of publications of these books, and they're the most expensive ones to buy, unfortunately. And I'm going to pick my top 3 of these books and a fourth one as well, runner up. If you've watched any of the videos before, I go through all the 10 or 9 game books and in the sections, and I pick my favourite covers from the Fighting Fantasy artwork. So this is gamebook number 51, Island of Undead. The front cover, you can see there is a kind of ghost figure or sorcerer with a big staff there. It's emitting a kind of beam or is it magical power from his right hand. In the foreground you have 2 statues, look like gargoyles. It's a kind of catacomb or dungeon type setting there, and Island of Undead has a score through it that I'm actually very keen on. So the back of the book, so before we go further, there is also the dragon emblem at the top there. So the back of the book, we have a brief description here. Ancient evil has come to Solani Island. Mysterious sorcerers of Solani Island have protected the local people from danger for many years. Now it seems their power has been usurped. An evil force holds sway across the land, an evil that seems to hold the power over life and death itself. Cover illustration this time is by Terry Oaks. Back in the day, this game book was £3.99. So the front cover, Terry Oaks, no, I'm not that enamoured with this one. It's not that inviting, it doesn't really stand out really too much. It's a bit bland. I don't know what the score through here is. I must admit I haven't read this game book. It's not one of my earlier collections. We look inside here, just a quick look. It was by Keith Martin, aka Carol Sargent, and illustrated by Ross Nicholson. I do like the eternal artwork again by Ross Nicholson again. He's got a very detailed, intricate style through the book that I do love. So the internal artwork is fabulous in this one. The game book itself, not great quality condition. A lot of tannin marks on the outside pages there. I really like to purchase this one again because I'm always not happy with the actual damage of the book, but we're starting to get into the range of expensive game books. So okay, Island of the Undead, game book number 51, Terry Oaks. Right, moving on, game book number 52, Night Dragon. On the front cover we have the dragon. Very contrast, very dark colours in this one here. It's maybe I don't want to do too critical straight away, but the cover to me is overly contrasted, a bit dark, too many blacks here, hard to quite make out the details of the dragon itself. Again, not keen on the title font in this one. Dragon emblem at the top there, albeit it's a dark font there. Back of the book, Night Dragon. The dragon must not be awakened. It's a creature of pure evil from before time existed. A dragon so immense nothing will able to contain it. Deep beneath the savage dragon reaches, its sucking in powerful magic energy will soon allow it to cross into the world. If it succeeds, all our lands here will be crushed beneath its claws. So that's a brief description of the storyline. So cover illustrations by Tony sorry, I think it's Hawk. So Tony Hawk done the cover illustration for this one. I do apologise if I've not pronounced that correctly. Yeah, not bad at all. I did say it's a bit kind of dark looking. The dragon has like smoke coming out its mouth there, blue eyes, and the blue kind of obviously light emitting from its mouth. Bit too dark. Don't like the font in this one. Yeah, not too bad, but yeah, overshadowed by the coloration, I think. So that's number Gamebook 52. It is Night Dragon. Number 53, Spellbreaker. I think this is by Jonathan Green. I believe it may be Jonathan Green's first outing as a writer for, or author for, Fighting Fantasy. So the front cover, you have the demon there coming out of the kind of crypt, type of sorcerer chap there with a grimoire, Goetia grimoire holding in his hands, a bit like the Grim Reaper. The cover's not bad actually. He's got a hoof there. Spellbreaker, dragon signage, dark font at the top. So we just jump round to the back of the book there, and it says, the beast is loose. Racine Abbey has guarded the arcane treasures for centuries, but when their black grimoire is stolen, the land of Riddlestone is plunged into crisis of epic proportions, for the ancient book holds a key to the legendary Cask of Shadows. Okay, and the cover illustration is by Alan Langford. So we flick there through the book briefly. What have we got here? This one was 1993 by Jonathan Green, illustrated by Alan Langford, who is the external artist and also the internal artist as well. Not a keen in his artwork style, sorry Alan. Oh, sacrificial element going on there, maybe. Yeah, not the. It's okay, I suppose, but it's not the internal artwork I'm looking at. The cover's not too bad at all. So we've got a demon there emerging like from the crypt. Yeah, it's not a bad cover. Yeah, that's immersive. It's quite immersive, but it does jump out. Stands out a bit. If this was sitting in the shelf, I would find this quite inviting back in the day. So, Gamebook number 54, Legend of Zagor by Ian Livingstone. Well, it wasn't really Ian Livingstone who wrote this one, it was Keith Martin, aka Carol Sargent, but it was credited to Ian Livingstone as being the author. I'm not sure the reason for that one there, I'll have to check the background of it. So, we have a single dragon emblem up there, Legend of Zagor. Orc, troll, right creature rare. We have two warriors on either side of them, and the various characters you can play in this game book. Not that keen on this cover, I'm afraid. It's okay. It's not that inviting. It doesn't jump out too much. I'm going to just jump to the back of the book, and it says, "The evil that will not die. Zagor, the very name of the warlock of Firetop Mountain, strikes terror into all who can hear it. Banished from the world of Titan, the sorcerer is slowly but surely regaining his strength within Castle Argent. In the kingdom of Armelia, Zagor has been transformed into a demon." Cover illustrations by Jim Burns and Martin McKenna. So the player must play one of 4 characters that destroys Zagor. And you have the various 4 characters there. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not my favourite cover, but again, it's not too bad. Looking inside here, the game book was published again by 1993. Mark McKenna was artist there. Is he doing internal artwork or not? Let's have a look. Yep, illustrated by Martin McKenna. Internal artwork. Yeah, Mark McKenna is a good artist, great artist. You can see that there. I like his style as well. Very detailed. Again, you can see there for some reason there's a big gap between the top and before the artist images within the page. For some reason, is it the same? Yeah, I don't know why that is. A waste of space here. Not sure why that's been published and printed like that. A bit odd. Yep, fantastic artwork there. Not my favourite, I'm afraid. Legend of Zagor, number 54. Moving on, number 55 is Deathmoor. Steve Jackson and Livingstone present. Again, the dragon symbol at the top. And what the hell's that there? Yeah, not great looking cover. Yeah, Not saying too much. I do like the font there though. The font's a bit different. Jump to the back of the book. Adventurer needed urgently. An experienced adventurer is desperately needed in the distant city of Arion for a mission of deadly importance. An adventurer like you, Talisa, the beautiful Princess Royal, is missing, believed kidnapped. She must be rescued, and she must be rescued fast. Cover illustration by Terry Oaks. Yeah, I've seen Terry do a far superior cover than that one there. Again, well, is he? Undead was by Terry Oaks. But she's better than this one. Yeah. What I do notice about this game book, the quality, sorry, the condition of this book itself is fantastic. No tanning in the pages, etc. Then, but I just want to know. Sorry. So I'm just going to re-rant sometimes. Deathmoor by Robin Waterfield, illustrated by Russ Nicholson. So Terry Oaks in the front cover, and Russ Nicholson, the brilliant Russ Nicholson, sorry, is internal artist of this book. His artwork there. Fantastic. Always love Russ Nicholson's work. Again, the spine in this book is not even broken. Well, slightly damaged there, but it's not got a broken spine on it. It just sits like itself. Fantastic quality book. Again, how thin is this though? For a Fighting Fantasy game book, yeah, it has a 400, but very, very thin in substance. This one, Deathmoor. But anyway, going back to the front cover, you have this dual-headed beast. Looks like flames coming out of his mouth there, and other one's got a slightly different head, more humanised head. In the background, you've kind of orcs there. Yeah, orcs looking at it. So yeah, not my favourite cover. Not that the artwork's not great. This one, sorry Terry. Yeah, not the best. Deathmoor, not one of my favourites. Number 55. Okay, moving on to Gamebook number 56. This is a lot meatier than Gamebook number 55, Deathmoor. It's Knights of Doom by Jonathan Green, his second entry in the series. And on the cover we have a creature riding another creature, like a demon thing. It's like something out of Elder Scrolls maybe. Well, that's a modernised description on an analogy of it. Kind of warrior demon type of this other creature. Yeah, I like the nice purple background in this one. Knights of Doom, I just don't like the font in these kind of these Fighting Fantasy game books in the 80s. I don't think the font jumps out too much. Anyway, jump to the back of the book. Brief description. It says, break loose the Knights of Doom. For years the brave Knights Templar of the Demon Keep have kept the peace in Riddlestone. But now an ancient evil has reawakened in the land. The sorcerer Belgaroth has returned from the dead and will use his powers to bring chaos and terror to this peaceful kingdom. This book was $4.99 back in the day, I believe, as it said there. Cover illustration by Tony Hawk. I would say how, but I'm going to call him Hawk. Okay. Absolutely love this cover. I just like the colour contrast. You have the red foreground of the mount, the demon characters on with his battle axe there. Yeah, I do like this one. It's quite intricate looking. As I said there, Jonathan Green. This book's a cracking game book as well, by the way. Yeah, it's a very good game book to read. And I said it's a lot meatier than Deathmoor. So yeah. Again, we've got this issue with the, if you can see that there, the print where there's a big gap at the top. So the internal artwork again is by Tony Hawk, or how. This one was released in 1994 by, as I said, author Jonathan Green. Fantastic internal artwork as well. Look at that there. Love this. Really like this game book, as I said. Look at that there, fantastic. Hellhound. Right, Knights of Doom, love this cover. Love the colours, love the design. Yeah, it's right up there. Number 56, that's Knights of Doom. Number 57, There it's here, Magehunter, the most expensive game book you can land your hands on at this current date. Hundreds of pounds for this book here. If you've got a copy just now, well done. Hold on to it. Back in the day, this game book was $3.99, but as I said there, it's worth. I've done a video last year on this one, the prices of it, but I'm not sure the recent valuation of this book this year. I'll have to check again, but it is in the hundreds. Unfortunately, the cover does not reach today's standards. There's an eagle in the background with a individual in its grasp and its claws. It looks like it's going to his head bit off with a dragon, whose mouth is wide open here in the sky. Just an awful looking cover. Don't like the colours of it. You get Magehunter, the title font there just does not stand out at all. It just kind of, it's muddled in with the background of the artwork. Yeah, black dragon emblem at the top there. Back in the book, it does say, stranger in an evil land, you are a mage hunter tracking down evildoers and bringing them to justice. Your trusty flintlock pistol and fine steel broadsword have seen many fights, and you have the knowledge, skill and equipment to capture the crafties of sorcerers or sorcerer, but disaster strikes. Yeah, cover illustration by Ian Miller. Yeah, I've seen Ian do better on this one. Open the book up here. Have a look. Illustrated by Rick Nicholson. So it's by Paul Mason, illustrated by Russ Nicholson. As I said before, fantastic artist. The tail artwork's absolutely fine. Well, that one's not that great actually. Looks like it couldn't be bothered there, to be quite fair. Yeah, the artwork on the foot is to be desired, maybe. Again, Russ, yeah, a great artist, but I don't know, that's far better. Maybe couldn't be bothered with this one, I don't know. Who am I to comment on? But yeah, Magehunter, the most expensive game book to exist in the market just now. The cover is very poor. Number 57, Magehunter. That won't be winning awards. So moving on, game book number 58, Revenge of the Vampire. It's a sequel to Vault of the Vampire. Very inviting cover. You can see the vampire in the foreground. Backgrounds of catacombs with the skeletons looking at you there. Traditional Christopher Lee type vampire with his hand up towards his face there, to protect him for himself from a cross or some kind of light, holy water even. So again, dragon emblem at the top. Back in the book it says here, Count Heydrich, vampire, is back from the dead. Which is him here, obviously. A half-forgotten evil has arisen from the grave to stalk the old world in search of fresh blood and new victims to enslave. Count Rainer, Heydrich, undead vampire lord, is an ancient beyond the reckoning of mortals. This time, however, there is someone on his trail, a brave hero who is determined that he shall not succeed in his evil plans, and that someone is you. So, cover illustration, this one is by Les Edwards. Yep, do like this cover, very inviting, into gothic horror vampires. This is a book for you. It does stand out. I like the type of font here, very different from other ones, but seem to have the same colour of font or style. But this one here does change, so fair play to the publishers, or the artists, sorry, no publishers, but artists for that one. So we look inside the book. This game book is by Carol Sargent, Keith Martin, illustrated by Martin McKenna, who is not the external artist. As I said there, it is Les Edwards. We look inside the book there, yeah, fantastic. Martin McKenna again. Werewolf, love werewolves in these books. It's got all the gothic horror creatures, hammer horror creatures if you want. Werewolves, vampires, look at that. Fantastic piece of artwork there by Martin McKenna. Look at that, fantastic. Just a brief flick through there for eternal artwork. Great. So, Revenge of the Vampire, I do like this cover. It is inviting, as I said there. Indie gothic horror, vampires, hammer horror novels, classic vampire books. This is very inviting and does jump out a mile. So well done to Mark McKenna, and the cover illustrator is Les Edwards in this one here. That's Gamebook number 58, Revenge of the Vampire. And here we have it, the final book of the Puffin Spines, the green Puffin Spines. We have Curse of the Mummy, Gamebook number 59. This is the final one in the series. There was no Gamebook 60. It's strange they've ended up Gamebook 59, but it's what it is, I'm afraid. So, Curse of the Mummy, you have the mummy there, reaching out there with his staff, his bandaged hands. He has his headdress on there. That's a fantastic cover. Really like this one here. It is by Martin McKenna again. So Martin McKenna is the illustrator. I'm not sure if this is the original colour on the back of the book. It's very pale looking. It does say, beware the curse of Agharis. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Helping eccentric archaeologists unearth an ancient tomb in the desert of skulls seems like an easy task for a heroic adventurer like you. But when the tomb turns out to belong to Agharis, a legendary ruler from a previous age, and when you discover some of his followers are trying to return the evil pharaoh to life, you must act quickly. Soon you will have to learn the true meaning of the Curse of the Mummy. Cover illustration, as I said, by Martin McKenna. So inside the book, it is, this one's really good condition. It's by Jonathan Green, the final one in the series when Jonathan's starting to have a role here, and a major impact in Fighting Fantasy. The plug is pulled. In Gamebook number 59, there's no 60, and there's nothing until the later 90s after this one here. So illustrated by Martin McKenna, which is the external artist as well. And again, Martin does not fail to disappoint usually. Yeah, like cultists, you get these jackal mummy, tiger mummy type creatures. A mummy, funnily enough. Yeah, fantastic. This one was published in 1985. So that is it. This is the final of the Green Spine Puffin books, 1995. Curse of the Mummy, and I do like this cover. Very well detailed. Great cover by Mark McKenna. Nice colours. Yeah, very inviting. As a curse, as a mummy, he's reaching out for you. Yep, he's saying buy this book. This is the final Fighting Fantasy book. Great effort. So, taking third spot is Revenge of the Vampire. Revenge of the Vampire is third spot in my choice here for the top 3 game books of the section 51 to 59. It is by none other than Les Edwards, and we have the vampire here in the front. Count Rainer Heydrich is the forefront of this game book cover. I do like this one, very gothic as I said there, very Hammer horror. Very inviting. He's his left hand up towards his face. I love the font. This one is probably the best font I've seen for many a game book. A bit different from the usual. Also, it blends between white and red, where usual font is just one colour. Yeah, do love this one. That is number 58. Les Edwards, Revenge of the Vampire. In second spot, it is number 59, Revenge of the Mummy. Revenge of the Mummy. Fantastic cover here. The mummy, his headdress is looking out towards you. His bandaged hands. He's saying, grab me, buy this book. Game book number 59, the very final in the series of the Green Puffin Spines. This one is by Martin McKenna, fantastic artist. Again, the book itself is by, as I said there, Jonathan Green. Just when Jonathan was getting to a role here, it ended abruptly, so I do love this cover. You've got the mummy font title behind his hand there, mummy holding his staff, and he's got the Egyptian, not a sphinx, but the Egyptian monuments in the background as well. So fantastic effort by Martin McKenna. Number 59, second place, Curse of the Mummy. And believe it or not, I love this cover here. My top spot, number 1 place, goes to Knights of Doom. I don't know if it's everyone's first choice. Something about this cover, the coloration of it, the reds and the purple backgrounds, the violet backgrounds just stands out. Just the demon riding his mount there, his tongue coming out, the horns, I just love this cover. It's quite intricate, quite very detailed. Tony Hot. Again, I really apologise if I don't get Tony's name right. Slate me down, shoot me down for that one there. I apologise. Knights of Doom, fantastic cover, love this to bits. That is Gamebook number 56, and it is by Jonathan Green. Knights of Doom. That is the top 3 Gamebook covers from Gamebooks number 51 to 59. And I do a wee bonus here. What would be runner-up in 4th place? And boom, Spellbreaker would be in 4th place. Now that was, yeah, if there wasn't a vampire on the Revenge of the Vampire, well, obviously it is a vampire because it's Revenge of the Vampire, then there was something completely different than this one. Would probably take 3rd place. I know it sounds ridiculous, but anyway, I do like this one. They have Demon coming out of Crypt there, type of sorcerer with Grimoire in the background. I do like this cover, and again this is the first one by Jonathan Green, I believe. It's Spellbreaker, that is inviting, yeah, horrific looking. Do like this cover. Alan Langford is the artist. That would be the runner-up of this section. This would be 4th position, Gamebook number 4, Spellbreaker. So that is the final section of this series, my favourite Gamebook Fighting Fantasy artwork covers through the, I'm going to say the decades, but Gamebooks 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50 and 51 to 59. As I said there earlier on, I'll dwindle them down and I'll take them all together and we'll get a winner eventually. So listen, thanks again for watching this video. I hope you really appreciated it, and I appreciate you watching the channel so far. We've just reached 300 subscribers, which is more than I've anticipated for a really small channel. And I know there's other channels out there cover game books and they play through them, etc. But I'm trying to do a different take on it as well. Include a lot of different like avenues and different kind of takes on like covers, etc. Make something a bit different. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again in the next episode of Game Book Collector.